You're watching Sky News. Gareth Barlow with you this afternoon. Let's turn our attention to the Middle East because tensions are soaring there today after the killing of Hamas's political leader. Iran has blamed Israel for the assassination of Ismail Hanniye and has vowed to take revenge. Well, in the last couple of moments, we've heard from an Israeli government spokesperson who says, I quote, "We are not commenting on the death of Hamas's Hanniye." That's a statement from the Israeli government spokesperson. Well, let's bring in the former Deputy National Security Advisor to Israel and Senior Fellow at Harvard, Professor Chuck Freilich. Professor, thank you for joining us.
No longer at Harvard. I'm teaching at Columbia.
Well, thank you for the correction. Apologies for that. But thank you for sharing your time and your insight. We've just heard there from the Israeli government spokesperson saying they're not going to comment on the situation. Despite their silence, we should assume that Israel is behind this.
Well, I'm not going to comment, not going to contradict the government statement on that. But I think if one looks at the nature of the evidence, one would indicate that this is the type of thing that Israel has done in the past.
At the same time as making those comments, the spokesperson said that we're committed to a Gaza ceasefire and we want the hostage deal to succeed. Given the events of the past 24 hours, how does that impact those aims?
Well, there are multiple aims, and some of them may even be difficult to reconcile at the moment. Iran has succeeded in surrounding Israel with a ring of fire, as we call it. So it started in the last 10 months with Hamas and the war. Hezbollah in the north, there's been firing on a daily basis from low to mid-level fire. 60,000 to 80,000 Israelis are still displaced from the north, can't return to their homes. In per capita terms, that's very, very high for Israel. The Houthis have continuously fired rockets and drones at Israel. Iran itself, in response to an Israeli operation in April, fired hundreds of drones and missiles at Israel. And there are various Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria, all part of this. So northern Israel at the moment is basically empty of civilians, and not everyone has returned to their homes in the south near the Gaza border. And the Iranian nuclear program is proceeding. We cannot continue to live in this way. At the same time, of course, everyone wants to see an end to the war in Gaza and especially wants to see the hostages come home. And the question is how you address all of these issues. I think what the government did here, and take into account that there was the tragic killing of 12 kids playing soccer on Saturday, killed by a Hezbollah missile, the government had to do something. It had to do it both for strategic or military reasons, and it had to do so for reasons of public opinion. The public is clamoring for a major response. And at the same time, they don't want the potential escalation and multi-front regional war that could emerge. And I think what we saw with the attack against the Hezbollah military leader yesterday, and maybe more questionably, the attack against Hanniye, the Hamas leader today, the government was trying to find some sort of middle ground that allowed it to make a statement, a deterrent statement, satisfy public opinion, but not risk too great an escalation.
And we've just heard in the last couple of moments that same spokesperson saying we are on extremely high alert for Iranian retaliation. That would surely be inevitable. And you mentioned there the mosaic of options in many respects that Tehran has, which will make it increasingly difficult for the Israeli government to be able to look in every direction.
Absolutely. I must say to give Iran the credit where it's due, from their perspective, they've done a very good job of surrounding Israel from all sides and trying to limit our options. And in some ways, I think they have done so. Israel cannot allow them to continue this, to constrain our ability to respond and defend ourselves. So I think that, as you were indicating, I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion that they will respond, that Hezbollah will respond. And the question is whether they do so in such a way that can be interpreted by Israel as a desire to end the ground or to escalate.
I'm so sorry we're a little short on time, but massively appreciate you sharing your insight and analysis with us. Thank you so much.